Hey everybody, it is Hyper, and I'm back with a Terror Tuesday long-form video. I want to start doing one video, at least long-form, of me just talking, sharing experiences, fitting with the theme of the stream of the week. And today's Terror Tuesday, so we were going to go with a scary story or a supernatural story or something like that. What better game to play thinking about the supernatural than Once Human? If you guys haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. It is a ton of fun. The whole crew's having a blast playing it. But anyways, Terror Tuesday, right? So I was thinking of what story I could tell people that fit with the theme of being paranormal, supernatural, or scary, right? For a little background, I was raised Catholic, right? So I believe that there is a supernatural world, right? That's part of my belief. That's part of the way I was raised. I'm also very scientific minded. I believe in evolution, all that other stuff, so it does not make this religious debate or anything. But anyways, the way I was raised thinking about spirits and ghosts and stuff like that is that the Catholic Church doesn't necessarily say they don't exist, and it doesn't necessarily say they do exist. Like, we do know that a soul exists, a body exists, blah blah blah, right? And I'm not gonna say blah blah blah, that's disrespectful, right? But what I'm gonna say is what's that sound? What I will say is that I have experienced some really crazy stuff in my life that I could not explain, and I'm sure many people have. And a lot of it, a lot of people are like, oh, it's just coincidence, or oh, it's just you're imagining things and this and that. But there's a story from when I was a little kid, right? And I used to sleep in this room in our old house. It was a brick house, iron bars on the windows. We had like carpet. We had my bedroom, which had like a bunk bed in it, a really creepy lamp up top, and we had like doors that opened into the hallway. And my sister's room was like down the hallway from me, and my parents' room was like across the hallway from me, right? Anyways, very dark house at night. Very dark house at night. And I was never really like afraid of ghosts or the dark or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't want to walk in the house alone at night because I couldn't see, but like never really had any like too crazy fears or anything like that. Not until later on. I kind of developed them. That's another story. But anyways, I used to go to sleep, and I used to have these wild dreams for a child to be having. What is that sound? Oh, it's my jumping. I'm so stupid. But anyways, wild dreams that a child really typically doesn't have, right? One of the dreams I always fondly remember that I used to have when I was laying in the bottom bunk of the bunk bed that I had, and I would go to sleep, and I would hear like a woman's voice talking to me. I don't know what language she was speaking. I don't remember anything of what she said. And then after a while in the dream, instead of it just being like black and dark, like just the voice, I would start to see kind of a face appear. I can't really say I recognize the face, but I can say that the hair was moving, kind of like the way cartoons depict like Medusa or something like that, but more or less like it was in water, and not snakes. Like, it wasn't alive, but it was like being pushed around by water or wind or something like that. And she was like just looking at me, and it was just her, blank, nothing in the background, in the foreground, just in a void essentially. And she was talking to me in this weird language. It wasn't scary. It was kind of calming. It wasn't that bad. And I used to have dreams like that all the time. But there was a time later on where my sister independently had a very similar dream, and she told my dad about it without me telling her about the dream I had, and without him telling her about the dream that I had. Like, it was all us independently talking to my dad about this similar dream. So she had one very close to that one, right? And that's not even the scary, that's not even the craziest part. It's just weird, right? Why would two kids have like the same dream like that, so similarly described? And people might be like, oh, maybe you're watching the same movie, maybe you had the same things going on in your life, blah blah blah. But like, I've never heard of people having the same dreams like that. I really haven't. Then on the other end, like a few years later, like we'll fast forward it a little bit, I was starting to get a little bit afraid of the dark and stuff. Yeah, I'll admit that. But I would sleep in my room, and the door would be open, right? Like, when I was a little kid, the door would be open when I would sleep. And sometimes, not all the time. But again, my parents would be down the hallway, and you know, sometimes I remember being a kid waking up because my parents would open the door to come check on me, whatever, stuff like that. But what I distinctly remember is one time I was asleep, and I remember my door opening, right? And when my door opened, I looked in and I didn't see anything, but then I saw like 2 figures standing in the doorway, and they had red eyes, right? And they were like the silhouette of my mom. Like you know, you're a kid, you recognize the way your mom or your dad's shadow looked like in a doorway or whatever. Like I recognized that. And I was like, oh, that's my mom, that's my dad. It sounded like them, and they was talking, but they were like talking in unison. And I don't remember what they said to me, but they were standing there and they were like checking on me, seeing like, you're okay, this and that. And I don't remember everything that was said because it was so long ago. But I remember like, I wasn't scared because at the same time I thought like it was my parents. I was like, oh, this is familiar. But at the same time, it was really uncanny because it was like, okay, my parents don't have red eyes, right? They don't just stand in the doorway like that. I see their face, they talk to me, and they definitely don't talk in unison, whatever. So it kind of did freak me out still. But I sat on this dream for the longest time ever. Longest time ever. And then like a year or 2 later, I don't know exactly how long it was because I was a kid, right? Time flies differently when you're a kid. I was laying in my bed and the same thing happened. Except this time, it was my closet, right? And I know, standard kid, like, cliche, oh my god, monster in the closet. But it was, like, in the closet, and it was, like, looking at me, right? And it was talking again, and it was hanging out. And this time, I didn't recognize it to be, like, my mom or my dad or anything like that. It was just something in my closet with red eyes and the outline of a person, like, talking to me, right? I woke up, went back to sleep, and I was like, okay, terrified, but whatever. But I was so young that I was like, okay, it's not a monster or anything, right? Because my parents were very clear, like, monsters aren't going to be in your closet, stuff like that. Like, I understood that. I wasn't really too afraid of stuff like that. But then I had that, like, same dream of that woman talking to me. And when I woke up, scariest thing ever. I woke up and I moved my blanket, and that, like, shadowy figures, they were like by my bed, like looking at me, like coming closer and stuff. And I freaked out because I wasn't expecting to wake up from that dream immediately and then see that. And I don't really remember what happened next. I really don't. I used to have fainting spells when I was a kid. You know, I used to like freak out to the point where I'd like pass out. It was that bad. But I don't remember what happened after that. And then corroborating the story, years later, without me telling my parents, without me telling my sister or anybody about like this experience of mine, my sister brought up at dinner one time when we were talking with family about like spooky stories and stuff with my dad about things he'd seen when he was a kid. She had said there were figures with red eyes that would come and talk to her at night when we were kids. I swear, like the chances of her, like I never told her this. I never told anybody this. But she brought up the same story, and in my mind, like, my brain, like, exploded. Mind blown, because, like, that's really when it scared the hell out of me. And I was already almost an adult at this point, right? And it scared, or I wasn't really almost an adult. I was almost a teenager, I would say, at this point. And it scared the crap out of me. If you guys ever met my sister, she can corroborate the story. This did happen. Like, we independently had these experiences, and we didn't tell each other about them. And it's just so crazy. It's so crazy because it was like, she described them as silhouettes with red eyes that would sometimes talk to her and come like check on her at night, like in her room and stuff. And it's like, what are the chances of us having such a similar dream? Not only the woman talking to us, but the beings with the red eyes, the silhouettes with the red eyes coming and checking on us. Is that not crazy? You know? And maybe we just have a very similar psyche and it's just a coincidence. Maybe. But, I mean, knowing the way odds work and how, like, the world works and the chances of that happening is astronomically low, it's just, it makes you wonder. I don't know what that was. I don't know if it was a figment of my imagination. I don't know if maybe they were, like, a benevolent, like, guardian angel kind of thing. I don't know if it was something bad. All I know is, like, after that second experience, I was terrified of them. And I always look back and I'm like, I've never really had an experience like that then. I do get some crazy dreams when I'm falling asleep. I get sleep paralysis and stuff like that sometimes, and that comes with a whole host of terrifying stuff. If you guys have the same thing, like, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It is not fun. It is not fun at all, because you could have like hallucinations, you lost of motor function, all kinds of crazy stuff. But this was way before any of that happened, you know? Ooh, look, that's a nice cichlid. But it just makes you wonder, guys. Like, what the heck was that? And this was before these movies were coming out. This was way before, like, Paranormal Activity. This was way before there were movies depicting, like, these shades, like, just watching you and stuff. And a child doesn't think of stuff like that. Like, a child doesn't just imagine, like, oh, I'm going to create a character that just creepily stares at you with red eyes and stuff. Then again, I don't know. Maybe some kids do. I guess it's just, speaking from my own experience, that doesn't seem like a very childlike thing to do. But yeah, I think that was a good way to start talking about Terror Tuesday. And that is, like, one of my very earliest, like, experiences with anything that I couldn't explain, that was very just unnatural to me. I don't want to say supernatural, but very unnatural to me. And being Catholic, I was going to church every Sunday. I was going to catechism as a kid around these times. I did believe in supernatural beings. Like, I'm a Catholic. I believe there are demons out there, stuff like that, right? I'm not going to say, like, I'm going to scientifically back it up, blah, 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 or anything like that. But what I will say is, like, when you have that foundational belief and you kind of you have, like, a baseline understanding or direction that's pointed in, it really opens the precedence that, like, based off my beliefs, potentially this could be something here, right? And that possibility has always just really, really, I don't want to say bothered me, but it's something that has really, like, maintained its presence in my mind. Like, it's never gone away. For good reasons, right? You know, and we believe in these very scary things. If you guys have ever watched, like, Insidious, I think a lot of that, poorly, kind of, but kind of not, ties into a lot of the potential, jeez, I can't even talk, guys, potential beliefs about exorcisms and possessions and all that really scary, terrifying stuff. That's why I will never be one of those people that goes to try and ghost hunt in real life. I will never do it. I will never try using a Ouija board. I will never try tarot cards. I will never seriously do like, you know, try and do, like, astrology readings and stuff like that, you know, in a serious sense. I will never do any of that, because after those experiences as a kid, after the way I was brought up, after, like, my theology, I guess, my lessons in theology through catechism growing up, it's just something that carries a lot of weight with me, right? So Terror Tuesdays are something that, like, I had to ease into. I didn't want to play Faz, because even my wife said, like, you can't bring energy like that into your home and stuff, because, you know, it kind of, for lack of better words, opens the gate. You know, there's a movie that came out a while ago called Veronica, and that kind of shows it's a Catholic girl who does some very not Catholic stuff, and bad things happen, you know? Crazy movie. I recommend watching it. But I don't know, guys. Like, I would be interested to see, like, what somebody who's not religious thinks about all these, like, themes, like supernatural stuff and ghosts and the paranormal. I don't know. So if you guys have any other, like, stories like that, I would love to hear them in the comments or in Discord sometimes. But I don't know. I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. I've been having some interesting dreams and moods, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll share that story for Terror Tuesday. It's not meant to scare you. It's just meant to, like, share this experience. You know what I mean? Because it's like, again, it wasn't like anything terrible happening to me. It didn't feel like a haunting. I was not, like, harmed. But it's just something that, like, it lives with me. It made me, it's part of what, like, makes me who I am, because it was such a significant, huge, and impactful experience in my life. You know what I mean? And it's just so hard to explain, because it's like, I don't know how to talk about it without sounding crazy, but at the same time, like, I get really excited talking about it, and I could just ramble on, and I could just, like, get lost in, like, tangent after tangent after tangent. But it just opens the door to so many other crazy events and stories in my life. And I think that's what I'm going to start doing on Terror Tuesdays, is talk about stories from New Mexico, which was, in case you guys didn't know, listed as, like, the most haunted state in the union, so that's really cool. But I got a lot of other cool stories, a lot of other cool theories, a lot of other interesting things that you guys might like to hear about on Terror Tuesday. So I know this was kind of like me rambling. I didn't do the best at telling this story, which is not really a story. It's an experience. This is something I actually experienced. But, yeah, I think it was cool. I had fun talking about it, and it would be interesting to bring those experiences to new people. And I really want a discussion, though. I want to hear what your guys' experiences are, what your guys' thoughts are, what your guys' opinions are. That'd be really cool. Maybe your beliefs, too. What do your beliefs say about paranormal stuff or stuff you can't explain? Anyways, I think we'll cut it there. Interesting story. And we'll do some more Stream and Terror Tuesday tonight in Discord. So if you guys want to talk about this stuff, definitely meet me there. But yeah, until next time, I will catch you guys later. Hopefully you guys don't get too scared, and make sure you protect your souls, protect your beings. Be good people out there. Put positive energy into your world, every relationship. Be kind to people, because I think a lot of the stuff, a lot of the negativity, a lot of these really harsh feelings and stuff like that can come from people just being bad people. So just be good people, and I think all of us, all of our ghosts and all of our entities and stuff can stay on the positive end, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. This is just me, again, rambling about my personal experiences and my thoughts and stuff. I would love to hear from you guys. Anyways, I'm talking in circles at this point. Because I'm trying to focus on Once Human. Very complicated game. But anyways, you guys are awesome. I will catch you guys in the next stream, which will be shortly when Honey gets home and the other people get on. Probably play some Minecraft. Probably play some Once Human. Maybe a little bit more Faz later on in the night when Mamba joins us. You guys are great. Can't wait to see you in the next stream or video. And until then, you guys have a wonderful one. Peace.